Where the hell is my little thing? That ain't right. World of YouTube Delphi here with another episode. And looking into a comment that was made to me. Someone had asked me in a comment if I was getting my sources from Robert Lindsay, I believe it is. Which I can honestly, truthfully say I never heard of the man until this person commented. Now, let me see if I got his name right. But there is some very interesting stuff that I never heard of in this case. And supposedly this crime group, and this guy is one of the group members, and I would imagine some suspects in the case obviously don't like this guy. What's his name? I gotta pull it up. Where is it? But there's some very disturbing stuff in this. There is some stuff I have heard of. Now, supposedly, this guy and the sources he has supposedly know who this BG is the way he explains it. There are some similarity things that I said about Keegan Klein that he says. But I don't know why someone would think I know this idiot. As far as I know, and reading his stuff here, I don't know. I'm not. There's some things that he says that makes me think, oh boy, yeah, all right. Yeah, you can keep your own, prerogative to yourself type thing. That's your prerogative, and he has his thoughts, theories, ideas. I have my own. Never do I take from other people's content, ever. I will go over other people's content, but I do not claim it as mine. And I especially don't claim anything I've said throughout this whole case. Anything what this guy has said. Some things that this guy says about child pedophiles, and he says you can't call them child pedophiles, child molesters, and there's certain words for certain things, and he feels sorry for them people. I don't, because people know wrong from right, and if they think that's right to do, well, then there's something very mentally wrong with him. And I believe this guy maybe, I'm not saying it, but the way I was reading it, maybe he is a psychiatrist, I do believe. And if he does happen to treat these people, there's no treating these people. Especially when they're sitting in jail with another one like them in a cell. Going over, all the stuff that they have done to people. There's no saving these people. There's no way that you can take somebody and correct them from an addiction. I mean, some people can get out of an addiction, but I think sexually it's more difficult. I know people out there that are sex addicts, and they're in some turmoil in relationships. And do you think that they will get out of it, stay out of it? No, these two individuals keep going back together. And mind you, it's just a sick situation. I don't want to say too much, but, it's one of them things, right? And these are sexual needs that people have and do, especially within the Delphi Murders. And there obviously is a lot of perverts out in the Indiana area. Klein, don't get me wrong, he's not the main suspect. I do agree with this guy with that, because he says it in this article. I haven't finished the whole thing yet, but I've read up enough to the point where I'm pretty satisfied with what is said in some ways. In other ways, it's looking at this article and just slapping my head and going, what the? The guy claims right. I'm sure he has his own issues. I don't want to know him. But reading and studying his work here, it's like, yeah, I'm just, I'll just stick with the facts. And that's that. But anyways, going over some of the stuff he writes. And we have not been able to contact our police source to see what they have to say about the Kleins, father, son. The absence of the news about them for 5 years implies to me that their role in the case is minimal, and that neither man was involved in the homicide, which I do believe. I will say, though, he could have... Oh, and this is something in here that is said. I said it in another way, but I never read this man's work. Never. That was the only thing I got off of this. I mean, this is how arrogant this guy is. Whatever you want to call him. I'm also noticed that our best female sleuths were often older women aged 40 to 65. Women get a lot more sensible as they age, particularly after 30. So perhaps a lot of young women are just too unhinged and touchy to do good detective work. So, now this is something that I found, say so offensive. I mean, it doesn't matter your age. It matters how much you devote yourself into detective work. And some, right, don't get it right on the, the hammer right on the nail head. Others do, but some things that could be said, and don't get wrong, because whatever you're thinking at that moment time, precise time, and blah, 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 and something just happens to come out that is sensible, that does work, it could just come right off the top of your head. And for this guy to put down people that just only get it right the first time, this is what I'm getting out of it. They particularly get it out right the first time. You can mess up 100 times and you're no good. You're too young. You're not matured enough. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I said, and I've seen people write on my page, you don't know what you're talking about. Catch up with the times. Da, da, da. But yet there's other things that I've, unveiled through my thoughts, theories, ideas, just like the Maura Murray case. Police did not reveal something throughout that case, and that one thing that they did not reveal to the public, I figured out, but due to so much content that I have, I don't even remember what the hell I said. I mean, I got an idea of things that I've said, but unfortunately, and when the person called me to confront me with this, which I do still got to get back to that person, see what's, what has came out of my information or whatnot. Maybe throwing a new couple curveballs in there to, straighten out whatever I, could have said and get some more thoughts, theories, ideas out there. But I haven't heard back from that person since. It kind of was a kind of sketchy thing, though, to me. Very strange. But other than that, I mean, these are the things that, right, when I read stuff like this and you got a person like this arrogant and just, throws people under the bus. I mean, that's just, all right. I mean, that's what kind of made me think about this article and this person. And once again, I would never go on his content and use it. I'm going to talk about it. And I can't help the things that I said, way long before I even heard of this guy. Because I've only heard about this guy about 2 days ago that someone sent this comment. And I thought it was maybe a suspect in the case. Or someone involved with the case. But it turns out that they're just a website page. And literally, law enforcement, supposedly retired, pay on this page because these people are so intense with their thoughts, theories, and ideas. Now, I don't know where this guy gets all his content or what law enforcement they talk to, whether it's Delphi itself, state troopers out there themselves, or let alone, regular, everyday, ordinary people that do have a real good idea of the case or is regularly involved. But whatever the case may be, like I said, there are some interesting things. And I don't know who this is directed to, but a worker named A True Lady. There are many incredible human beings all out there. They have been absolutely useless in sourcing, saying anything intelligent about the case. And just about any theory goes shouted down furiously, ferocious, vicious, maniac with 70% IQs. Total waste of time. Now, as you can see, this man puts everybody down. So I'm sure, I don't even know where I stand with my IQ. I know if I was to do an IQ on street smarts, I could at least say I'm up there in the hundreds. But educational wise, But I mean, due to, my lifestyle and how I live and raised myself. And like I say, I've been raising myself since the age of 5. Taking the good and bad and trying to do the good all the time. Now I do have a bad record. I do have a bad reputation. I do have a bad everything. But it's only due to the fact that I was bullied half my life. Right? Seeing horrible, vicious things pretty much all my life. And when in danger, I just have this instinct to do the unordinary to keep myself from approaching the danger. Hell, I could have been kidnapped at one point in time back in 1981 with a pervert that rolled up on me and my friend. And it's just, and just to think of them days, I sometimes go back in time and reminisce that because of all the things that happen, especially cases like this. But these poor girls didn't have that street smarts. And I'm sure they didn't have the techniques to, when in danger, I mean serious danger, yeah, get themselves out of it. But whatever this is, I don't know if it was meant to this guy or Ron Logan. Yeah, I think it was meant to Ron Logan. But I don't know who's saying it. I didn't get that. Because this is how this guy writes. Oh, it is about. Yeah, I don't know who's saying it to Ron Logan. But whoever's saying it to him, this guy, Robert, has a photo, which I believe it might be the photo that I covered and was all over the internet of one of the girls in the casket. Now, I did determine in my video saying that did not look like her. I don't know where the photo came from. Of course, maybe some sick individual at someone else's funeral took the honor of taking that picture and then flashing it all over the internet. But supposedly Ron Logan is the one that got that photo, as it says here. Anyway, here is the latest. This is from Robert. I know you are watching RL, and if this is true, you are a twisted piece of caca. Well, I am twisted. PCOS. That's not up for debate. Ask anyone who knows me, especially one of my exes. But the charge is that Julie Melvin sold the photograph from Libby's funeral of Libby in her casket to me. So Robert goes on to say, well, that's not true. I have that photo. Yes, my group has seen it. I asked my group if I should post it on here, but they shot it down as too offensive. The group makes a lot of decisions here, not me. It's their group. And he has spoken to Julie Melvin on 2 separate occasions. She is indeed one of the finest local sources for information. On this case, and she actually has a brain that works, unlike those subreddit monkeys. I do not recall how I acquired this pic, but I don't think I got it from Julie, and why would she sell it? And she sold it, why not keep a copy for herself? They're not like physical photos, you know. Of course, I did not pay money for that photo. Someone gave it to me. The photo is out there floating around and has been for some time. Many people have seen it. There's not much to see. So, I mean, that's all I took off of that. And let alone when I went over that photo, I think it would be the one I'm talking about, and I did cover. I came to my attention that was not the girl. Neither one of them. Someone just had a sick, demented sense of humor, as you want to call it, or a sense of trying to start up controversy, in which this case is based on. Controversy and conspiracy theories. And it gets deeper with this. I mean, supposedly this group, like I say, is legit with a lot of information somehow. I don't know how. I mean, if it is all untrue, well, then it is. But it is good to go over and document this stuff. Especially a little guy like me. Because this is a lot of stuff in here that I did not know of. But the photo is there. But, this is, to my knowledge, I am having a difficult time finding the files in my notes, so I don't believe it until I do. He was sued by, names of members of Delphi family, persons of interest. This led to discovery that Robert Lindsay, oh, that's his name, Robert Lindsay, I think I said that right, is actually the persona of 2 individuals. His blogger accounts were permanently deleted. So with that being said, and Robert says, this is scurrilous. This is a lie started by an insane person named Eric Alter, which he is was one of the prime suspects. He even produced some fake court documents from the court in Michigan. There was no discovery. There was no lawsuit over naming members of a family in Delphi as POIs, because I never named anyone in town as a POI. At that time, there was no lawsuit against me filed by anybody involved, anyone. And he does go on to say in this, that I do have two personalities, he says. This is another thing that throws up a indication of, okay, buddy, you are a Fruit Loop is right. I'll call you. I mean, hey, I called Sean Harmon a Fruit Loop. But, hey, who isn't a Fruit Loop? Especially when you live in demented areas of places like this. Let alone dealing with Fruit Loops on the other side of the table. You can rightfully turn into one if you're, and this guy's talking about how he's got two personalities. Well, hey, I got 6 of them. Now, I don't usually go over that sometimes. I mean, I usually go over that, but I don't need to. Because I'm not out here to harm the innocent. I'm not out here to harm, weak people. I would like to harm people like BG right up in your face. Because you think you're a big man. You think you're someone that started something and you can just completely sit there and laugh at everybody's face on the other side of a camera, just like you were caught on a camera. Man to man, mano a mano, macho. Come up to a real man and see where you get. So anyway, here's another thing of the Kleins. In our opinion, the roles of the Keegan and Tony Klein are complete red herring. These guys were not involved. However, they may be connected to someone involved or being used as bait to find someone involved. Ha! I said this before. Whoever Bridge guy is, I said that he probably did use Klein to find out, or even let alone hack his account somehow to know where they were supposed to meet up, or something insanely sadistic like that. But that is right. I think that fat little troll, Mr. Anthony Fake Snots, was used. And he does say, to go on Robert, that Klein, like I even said, I don't think he killed the girls because he was too much of a fat slob. Yes, I said that before, but I didn't say it from this guy. I did not get any information from this guy. What I said about him is that he's a fat slob, and right, he can't get women. And that's why he goes and targets young girls, and that's why he makes fake pages, because he can't get a woman on a regular basis. That's what I think it is. But this guy goes on to say that this is something I never heard of, and this is very interesting. Of CP snuff film. So from a local said to be a deep rumor in town. These rumors are sometimes turn out pretty good. Said that the murders were videotaped, and the video was put out somehow. Klein got a hold of it and was selling it on his Dropbox site, where he had, I hope I did that. Selling it. Yep. He was selling it for Bitcoin, and he made a ton of Bitcoin off this snuff film. The film would be CP, probably due to its nature of the girls were unclothed. If not, it would be presumably not BCP. But there are rumors that it can be found on a dark web. I'm too scared to go down there because of all the CP. But maybe I need to get over it. The problem is that if one of us finds this movie and watches it, we're apparently broken the law right there, because it's illegal to even look at this stuff. I guess because it destroys your eyeballs or something. Now, if that is so, and this video does exist, I mean, yeah, why isn't there any type of law enforcement? Because they're not going on there to break the law. They're going on there to find a movie to fix the law, right? I mean, whatever the case may be, if this is the damn truth. Bear with me, I gotta pause a moment. Little bit of distraction here. But, yeah, shoot. I lost my little window. I'm recording. Alright. I lost my little record time window. But, yeah, I had a little distraction here to pause so I didn't get too much, distraction. But, if this video does exist, I mean, one would think that Klein would, in all his computer stuff, have a copy. If not, he deleted it, or whatever happened to it. But two, if there's something out there, why ain't the law enforcement looking this up? This is something very sadistic and sick. And, if that is the case, I mean, yeah, that only goes to prove a thought theory idea that I said. And I'm sure it's already out there, but I didn't get it from nobody's sources, nobody's page, or nobody's content. I've even said it before. Everybody out there in Indiana throughout this ring, I'm for damn sure they're somehow connected, right, in a group. And if there is a group and everybody's on there chatting, opening their big mouths, just like even if they were on Snapchat talking to the girls, there's some form or type of group that's taking all this information, let alone, someone following Klein to get his, I want to say maybe they were in a private chat and someone could get into it. I mean, I've said that before on the Klein bullcrap, because, I mean, this guy just seems real dumb and invulnerable in his own self to think he's talking to some young girl and he could be talking to a cop is right. He doesn't look like the type that would be that smart to say, hey, girl, let's meet here, and then he ends up meeting a cop. But for this to be said, and, of course, that guy don't say anything about what site it is. What is it? Dark web. Found on the dark web. I mean, how do you get to the dark web? I mean, I've even said that before about guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. The most dangerous person to man is man. I know the most dangerous, thing on earth, let me rephrase that, thing on earth is man to man. We're the ones with the brains. Animals don't come up to us and say, unless they feel as bit as they're getting, unless they feel as they're getting intimidated. Animals don't kill us unless we're going around messing around in their domain. Just like us. But we can think all together at the same time that if we want to pull out a gun on someone, and say, hey guys, down the hill. We can do that. Animals don't do that. They wait for their prey to be, or when they do hunt, they find it, naturally like they're supposed to. Not go out in the city and say, hey, look at all these people around here, this big crowd. Let's get them, guys. No, that ain't how it works. That's just, common sense. But if you're in a group web like this, and you get things, and you see things, and you're, oh my God, just the nastiness and the dirtiness of it. But if you're trying to find a video, that would make it all the point to be doing that. I don't know, then again, you can say there's some people that fucking look at this stuff and then they'll be falling into it. Oh my God, I'm addicted to it. And oh my God, it ain't just pretty to think of. What the hell? But if there's a video out there, why is it not being searched by the law? It's not breaking the law, it's trying to solve a case. So that was one thing that I never heard of. The ghost phones, throwaway phones. Supposedly, Abby did not have a phone. This comes from Mom. She had a phone she was hiding from her mom. It was a burner phone. I'm just going to call it a ghost phone, just like a gun. You buy a ghost gun on the street. Ghost phone. Go down and get your track phones at the friggin' Walmart. Hey, Ma, I got some money. I'm going to go buy something, buy something to eat. Sure, go down there and buy a track phone. Have it turned on in an hour. Half an hour. So, supposedly, this is another thing that I did not know of. Something about this, though. The rumor is that the video was sent to Abby's phone after the murders. So that smut video or whatever. And then this is, once again, this is proof that whatever this, person did, done, recorded, and sent it was sent in a group that gets everything. So I'm assuming that these girls were in the type of group that they weren't supposed to be. And that would explain this hidden phone. Supposedly, there's a rumor that she stuck it in a tree somehow after they were captured. And it was, the phone was found. Whatever. But both girls were lying to their guardians about all sorts of things. And a female accomplice of the murderer, here comes Garrett Gertz. Skirts. Call him Skirts because he's a little sissy boy. Said she had seen this video. So, that's why Garrett Skirts is involved in all this and got subjected as a suspect. But he is not the suspect either. I know there are people out there that still believe he is. But no, it's because they're in this group. And I guarantee this goddamn group falls within them dark web groups, we shall call it. And how the girls got into this, well, I watch sometimes when I'm looking on YouTube or other accounts that I have, but YouTube mainly. And there are things that come up, oh, check out these girls, single women. Or check out this website, so-and-so. So I don't know if how Snapchat works. But like I say, YouTube starts getting these commercials that pop up. Let alone even Facebook has these things that pop up. So if the girls get curious enough and they're, the Facebook advertisements go upon your Facebook page and what gender you are. That's them sending stuff to the girls. Oh, looking for men, or whatever the hell. And then I got like stuff that comes up in commercial, looking for single women. Which to me, I'm like, what the I don't know. I hate them ads. I'm old fashioned. One man, one woman, that's it. I'm not out there looking for all this stupid crap. And when the ads come up, it's even more disgusting. And I can just imagine what the ads the girls were getting. Looking for single men. Because a lot of these websites, if you use, I think that you have to be 18. And of course, you know damn well, and someone as supposedly smart as Zuckerman, CEO and founder of Facebook, he would really pin down kids that look younger than 18 and do a real thorough background check, especially Snapchat or Instagram or any of these. Because if you do happen to have to be 18, you know damn well these kids are out there making fake pages. Now, if something was to come up, DoorDash has alcohol delivery. This is a perfect example. And why these websites are not doing it is beyond me. Because I'm for damn sure these sex websites can lure in kids too. And what the hell do they care? They don't give a damn if you're 18 or not. If you're sexually active and you want sex, then it should be there and everybody's going to get it. Make a fake page. How about these pages, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Well, Instagram's related to Facebook, and I don't know why they have that. It's stupid, but if you want a page and you have to be 18, DoorDash has this. When I go deliver alcohol to people, and I've done it numerous times now, a dozen times, I need to scan the ID for age, and it's got a process that I got to look at this ID, and I got to look at, of course, the person who's giving it to me to make sure to give them the alcohol, because there's a huge consequence if you give it to a minor. Say so they steal their parents' ID, they give it to me, I can't give it to them. This ain't you. You ain't on the ID. Get out of here, kid. I got to take that order back to the store. What if all these social media pages had you scan your ID to make a page? Problem solved. 18 and over, and kids do not get on these big social media websites. And for the kids, if they do want a social media page under the age of 18, schools have been giving IDs to kids, age, all the gender is on there revealed. How about when you have your social media for kids, they give their school IDs of verification for age? Problem solved. You keep the youngins off the dirty page, and you keep the perverts off the youngin page. Huh? Problem solved. Then you don't have predators that can make these things, because they need a child ID. And if they don't have a child ID from a school, oh, sorry, bub. Get the F out of here, you pervert, before you get your shit chopped off. Idea. Anybody gonna try and do that? That's what I think. And these girls would have been not a victim of murder. Because all these perverts can't get on the youngin' page, because that's right. They don't have a school ID. They're out of school. They have no goddamn rights to be on it, just like kids don't have to be rights on 18 plus pages. Yeah, you can go on these pages. Press if you're 18. I've seen them. And it's like, oh, you 18? And you can rightfully just tap yes. And that's it. You're on a dirty page. IDs need to be revealed, just like DoorDash invented. Someone should take that to their website and make the people ID themselves. I'm going to keep saying it. Idea from me. Make everything a better world and place, to live in. Anyways, damn it, excuse me. I'm going to move on. You heard that first here, though, folks. Terrible sight. Thoughts, theories, ideas. Female accomplice of the murder of after the murders, Klein made a hurried trip to Las Vegas. That's where he was getting his really bad CP from. Presumably that was his connection for the murder. Tape 2. Klein is a passive guy, and in the tapes, the cops say numerous times they know he didn't do it. So here it is. This is the cops say numerous times that they know Klein didn't do it, even though that people are still saying that he is, and all about the controversy of the frickin' search near his house in the river. But here it is. He mostly never even met any of these girls. He just wanted nudes. He met a 12-year-old girl in a park a couple of times, but all he did was talk about the weather. I presume that is still legal as a sex fascist haven't gotten around to banning it yet. After the murders, Klein made a hurried trip. Oh, wait a minute, fucking stupid ass. Banning it yet. This is not a man of action. This is a passive man, a voyeur, a guy who likes to watch, a masturbator. In other words, that's his basic relationship to the sexual world, as a watcher. He's a dirty peeping Tom. And what is that? Gnosis? Both are very passive activities. Nowhere on earth does a guy this passive murder 2 girls. So, like I said, this, and as you can see, cops said numerous times he's not the killer. But he did contact them. And even if he was trying to meet him, I mean, the only thing I could say he was probably going to do to them girls was, get off on himself while he was standing next to him somehow. That's what I think. He's just a straight-up pervert that likes to get off on things by watching, because he's a fat slob. That's all he can do. No woman wants a fat slob like that. And that's why he goes to the young, uneducated minds, the minds that are not fully developed. And that's what a pervert does, because they want to be superior. They want to be, the man. They want to feel like they're the man. When they know deep down inside, and when they turn this way, I will insult people like that, because you can do better and you can find better, and it's called uglydating.com. Go find someone that's your nature, that's your suitable, same mindset, same, weight or so. You got to look for these, not these hot women you think you're going to get, not girls that are maturing into women and you think you're going to get. No, you got to find someone that's your level. In life, it's got to be your level. And this guy's just a desperate soul. And I don't feel sorry for him at all, like this guy, Mr. Robert. And of course, this goes on to say, that the matter makes murder saying that there's no way Keegan Klein murdered those girls. Plus the body types, what I say. I went over the everything on this. Heights, weights. Both father and son are too tall and way too fat. Everyone thinking they are BG is trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Police played the entire murder tape for Mr. X. Now, Mr. X, as they will not reveal the name, supposedly they wanted to see if he can, right here, identify the voice on the tape. But they say that the voice on the tape is Mr. X. So, who strongly defends him? So apparently they think the voice is his own. This is a rumor, but it came to us from someone close to Mr. X who strongly defends him. We asked this person if Mr. X could have committed the murders, and he said, "You don't understand. That's not like him." In other words, the friend's opinion is that Mr. X didn't have it in him to commit these crimes. Friend also says that the murder tape was played for a number of suspects. We don't believe that's true. However, apparently it was played for Mr. X. We think the fact that the entire murder tape was played for Mr. X to get him to identify the voice on the tape is quite significant. So whether or not this guy, Mr. X, is Bridge Guy, now this is insane. I never heard this one either. This is new. And of course, who does it go back on to? Who do they talk of in this case? Mind-blowing. But if they cannot get the voice right, and the guy, I don't know who the hell the guy even, Mr. X even said who it sounds like, unless they were just trying to compare it while he was sitting there talking. But as you can see, there's nothing further on that. Now they go on to say that Mr. X was fascinated by numbers. Murder happened at 2:13. The date, 2:13 p.m. The search warrant makes the note that obviously this guy is playing games with numbers. The girls were killed on the date 2:13. The girls were killed both about 13 years old, etc., etc. This also implies that he came from the south side of the bridge after passing them. Time it that well, the killer appears to be playing games with numbers. Now, out of everybody, they say number killing, numbers. Does it remind you of somebody? Can you take a guess? I'm going to ruin it anyways. They're going to go with the goddamn Zodiac killer. Now here we have someone that, right, a serial killer. So, what if this guy's taking all kinds of serial killing people and trying to put them all in as one? The Night Stalker, maybe. Zodiac, they're saying. Who knows if he's got the Golden Gate Bridge Killer in there. And then the weird the weird scene. I don't know if there's any other killer that does that, but who knows what this guy's intention was. But playing games with numbers, messing with us, but the messing with the law, just like Zodiac, he was the one that liked to taunt the law. He was the one that liked to be right out there in the open and playing these games. You better put my stuff out there, I'm gonna kill more people. And they did as he applied, and they did what he told them, and they had him all over the news, and the man still didn't get caught. And this is exactly what Bridge Guy's doing, taunting the police, taunting, unless he's involved with the police somehow, them bad, dirty, rotten cops. Whatever the case may be, just messing with us in a similar way that the Zodiac Killer was. We assume he likes toying with the police, presumably for kicks. But, oh man, there's more. And Abby's body being still warm at the time of discovery. So everybody knows, and this has been said, that girl was crawling away from she must have survived. She must have survived a brutal attack. And something about the body degrees, this is something I didn't hear of, but she did supposedly fight the killer, and she did supposedly survive way longer than Libby. And this guy gives a description of how the temperatures of the body loses temperature at 1.5 degrees an hour. A body is only warm up to about 80 degrees. Below that, it starts to feel cold to the touch. Therefore, she died no earlier than 10 hours before she was found, 2:30 a.m., or possibly even earlier than that. A drone with a thermal imaging flew over the dump site and found nothing. Now, them thermal imaging, good source for that, the movie Predator. How it makes itself invisible, and when it's invisible, it throws on its thermal heating thing to find his prey. I mean, that's the best way to example of what a thermal imaging, if no one knows what it is, but let alone knows what it does. And so a drone had this. Those girls would have shown up if they were there, and additional searches swore they searched the dump site. So there's so where the girls were dumped, I'm believing, because a dump site sounds like a friggin' dump landfill to me, but obviously they're talking where the girls were dumped off. And both girls were quite possibly removed from the scene and returned later. So if that's the case, and they were saying that whoever did this went back and repositioned the bodies, not moved them, just repositioned them. Now they're saying that they could have been moved. Something about to say, I wonder if that's when the tunnel comes in. Because I don't know what the killer was thinking throughout the search. For one thing known as a fact is that son of a bitch was there at the, searching. Throughout all the searching, he was there. And when they found him the next day, at 2:30 whatever a.m., that means that son of a bitch took them bodies, dragged them back when everybody covered that area. And I guarantee the tunnel's got something to do with it. So he killed them. So that means when he killed them, he put them in the tunnel. He had to have. He had to put them in that goddamn tunnel. Then when the search went on, of taunting the cops, taunting everything of the search, taunting, love the game. He went back just when everybody went through that area, put the bodies back, and they found them. Now, that's my thoughts, theories, idea. That's not accurate. That's not the truth. But the way this story is going through the eyes of this guy, And supposedly he is this is one of the top pages that, really holds a lot of information that obviously is not in a lot of articles, as you can see. And the FBI was talking to local landowners. They asked about outbuildings and guns. So maybe also, if the tunnel was not used, maybe this is where Ron Logan comes in. Because his property was near that site. 1,400 feet it was, correct me if I'm wrong. And what if somebody used his shed or something on his property, but yet he did not know about it? And if he did find out something about it, hey, maybe, that would give a damn good excuse of why he did what he did and left his property. Because say so, he found them bodies and he looked and he was like, oh shit, I'm going to get blamed for this, what the hell is this? And he's all getting hysterical. So he goes and makes a dump run or whatever he did that day, or went and got booze or whatever he did, because maybe that's what he stumbled upon. So outbuildings, why do they call them outbuildings? They call friggin' sheds. Well, that's what I'm thinking it is. Now Carter's shack comments start to make a lot of more sense. Perhaps they were secreted to a shack from some time. Yeah. And I just did before I even read that. The only thing I was looking at this was the outbuildings and guns. That's the only reason why I screenshot that. I didn't read down below. So if they were rightfully hidden in the shack, they had to been on Ron Logan's property. And he might have stumbled upon them and didn't want to get in trouble. Didn't want to be accessory to murder. Because he's already on probation. He's already screwed his life up. And this probably would have really sent them on the river. Or unless the killer was there and said, you say anything, I'll kill you. Whatever the case may be, that's why I say Ron Logan is not the killer. Because this makes sense. This pulls together a lot of pieces of the puzzle. But my thought and theory of that damn tunnel, they could have been thrown in there too. And the fact that that tunnel wasn't searched, there was nothing in the article. And if it was, I never read about it. Don't know if it was. And like I said to a commenter, I'm the only one. They say in a comment that I was the only one talking about this tunnel. Why I don't have more on it? Because nobody, for one, won't go do a video and to find it. And that includes, what's his name, Anthony Greeno. Instead of going through everything, why ain't that guy at the tunnel? I want an entrance. I want an outrance. I want someone to show this damn tunnel. And that article that was found by C.J. Curley, that right there is proof that it has to exist. And now stuff like this, removed from the scene and then put back, not replaced, repositioned. If they were literally removed, oh man. That could mean that Abby, the one that survived, could have been even tortured more. And she was probably still living through all this, and when he brought her back, say so, she was probably so up she couldn't even scream. Who knows, she could have had internal bleeding in her stomach. He probably punched it. Or even jabbed her in her windpipe so she couldn't talk or scream. Brutalness. And them lame-ass pictures that were sent out in the web, man, that was ridiculous. Blurry as crap. You couldn't make nothing out of it. Looked like a shriveled up piece of meat, for Christ's sakes. I mean, I could tell, how they were saying the body's there, the jacket's there, but it was so wrongfully and disgustingly edited that, oh man, someone needs to be smacked upside their head for that. But this makes sense, and it's starting to pull together. Give you some more and new thoughts and theories, ideas, which this guy does not mention so far nothing about the tunnels in this article. Ha ha. So that's how I know that I have never read this guy's articles, because I talk about the tunnels. He does not. Now he's talking about sheds on the property. I wasn't thinking of that. So, that right there proves that I didn't read this man's article. I don't know nothing about this guy. But I do talk about tunnels. I haven't read the whole thing yet, and I'm going to finish it. But so far, he does not speak of that tunnel in this article. So what does that tell you? Evidence that the gun was used in the crime. So yeah, I read this. The gun is a signature 229 from 1991 signature. So supposedly the gun was shot off. More, yeah. That is signed off by the FBI. It says it was looking for a gun to do a ballistics test on it. Yes, our group has a search warrant issued in the case. That's an older model. I don't know if it was... I thought I read something that said it was shot off, but not used on the girls, or it was just used, to scare the girls, which that probably what it was. I gotta check something here. Let me see. Am I still recording? Because guess what, folks? I might have to do 2 parts on this. I don't know what happened to my window. But all in all, man, these articles get even more bizarre. And the one where the cousin was talking to whoever, talking about only nutted up in her once. That was verified to be true. And it also says in this article about the pregnancy, which is right here. Early stages of pregnancy. However, they may also have done a blood test on her, and the pregnancy shows up on the blood test. So with that being said, and this is another thing, yeah, I'll just finish it up. The bonfire parties. This is something that supposedly happened, but it didn't. And of course, these parties lead to sex, drinking, and drugs. So, I mean, there's a lot of, obviously, girls out there underage going to these parties. So, found out about forbade the girl from associating with the cousin. Forbade, what the hell? Told us that the bizarro crime scene was set up before the crime. So somehow, this is another thing. Not only did the bodies get hidden, they're saying the crime scene was set up before the crime. In order to lure the girl out there and terrorize her into getting an abortion. So 3 young men, and supposedly one might be a cousin. This is another thing I never heard of. Never heard of this. Or I would have covered this. So that only proves that, right, I ain't never read this man's content. But they found out she's pregnant. They wanted to get her an abortion, but the girl won't. So they're trying to scare the girls, so they go out there and set up a crime scene. I don't know. That would explain what the dolls would be used for. Because babies, usually when they turn 1 and older, you give them dolls. Or, little G.I. Joe men or something like that. But for whatever the reason is, it kind of makes sense of why the dolls were there. Let alone the guy having a fetish of getting off on girls that are dead, hanging around dolls. I don't know, that right there is friggin' bizarre of its own is right. But, potential. They played only a potential role, a peripheral role in the crime, possibly a non-criminal one. Keep it in mind that when I say suspects, police don't know if they played a role in the actual crime or not. That's up in the air. But there were possibly 2 events that happened. One, the setting up of the weird, scary scene in the woods to scare the girl involving 3 young men. Or 2, the homicide of 2 girls, untitling in part this scary crime scene. Utilizing in part. I don't use that word much, sorry. So a homicide of 2 girls, utilizing in part this scary crime scene, involving at the moment only a single suspect, middle-aged man. Perfectly possible that the 3 young men in the first event knew nothing about and had nothing to do with the second event. So this leads me to this. Now, if you're in that chat group, and if there was 3 people, and if there was something about going to the, to this place to meet up either with Klein or 3 young men, to scare one of them, possibly a cousin, to scare the girl of getting an abortion, well, then that would mean that they have access to either wanting to, see who's talking to who. Or the possibility is they set up that crime scene and BG is the one that follows them. It would have been either the 3 guys or the Klein guy that said, well, let's meet up. Meet me here. So BG gets wind of it, and he goes there, and that's that. But then again, if 3 guys didn't know BG exists, they would have clashed and ran into each other. So the speculation of this is just one of them insane things that could just be another thing to throw off people of the case. Because the good guys don't want the good guy to get caught. That's why they're trying everything under the sun to get all the bad guys caught. I mean, this don't make sense to me, but it's there. And for this guy to throw this up there, I mean, this is another thing that makes me think this guy, what the hell is this? BG went there for a purpose. And whether it had been trying to scare for an abortion, I don't know. That guy wanted something done in his own sick, demented way. If it had to do with a pregnancy, who knows? Maybe he was the guy that got the girl pregnant. Who knows? Who knows what lies beyond all this? I mean, I do think I remember reading that the pregnancy wasn't true, but now it's confirmed. So I don't know. You can go on all day with this case now, because everything that's spawning out of it is really making it more mind-blowing. And this will definitely go down in the books right along with Maura Murray. You will go insane before you even solve this case. And that once again leads me to the mighty Black Sabbath. Ronnie James Dio is, the closer you get to the meaning, right? The closer you get to the meaning, the sooner you'll realize that you're dreaming. Because you're not going to get the meaning of this story or any other mystery story like this. Because it's a dream. It's all friggin' a dream. It's like a dream. You can plan everything out in a dream. You can have your dream do this, this, and this. But it will not solve it. Unless you have a dream of the girls coming to you or anybody and giving their murderer's name, which someone has done that and they gave out a name. But that name, mind you, I haven't heard nothing about that since that video. Paul, I believe it was. Once again, who the hell is Paul? Who knows? I'll have to look into that, though, because I want an update on that. Ghost supposedly talking. But anyways, Mr. C, who is identified throughout, though to have played a role in the murders, instead is it known that he helped set up the creepy crime scene. But it is not known that he had any involvement in the murders. He is only a suspect because police do not know if his involvement was pre-reparal and not criminal, or if he was involved in this homicide plot. As we have stated a number of times, police only have one suspect, a middle-aged male, Mr. X, who they think committed the murders. The involvement of the other three men is completely up in the air. So, I mean, as you can see, they're determinedly saying that this did happen. This is an actual event, setting up the crime scene. But how does Mr. BG get involved in all this? And the young man who set up the weird crime scene is also very close to Mr. X. Young BG, here we are with the description of the young BG, which, mind you, head detective, the one with the glasses, said in an early statement when this case all blew up that there was no witnesses that day. No witnesses. None. He said it on national TV. There was no witnesses that day. So how do you get a sketch? There was no witnesses. But it goes on to say young BG may have been seen at the south side of the bridge, 12:30 p.m. by a woman who said he had dark and evil eyes. Now, what did I just say? There was no witnesses that day. Where the hell did they get a witness from? And then that witness lady that supposedly talked to Bridge Guy but then immediately moved. Is this the one? The murderer, the main suspect, is probably absolutely not BG. Nor is he 18 to 40 years old. As noted, he is a middle-aged man. Old BG is not a good sketch of the killer either. All people can see was... I didn't... Did I get that one? People see was... So this is supposedly the sketch. Was the top of his face. This is the older sketch. And the artist filled in the rest. Police are lying when they say the main suspect is young BG. And they're saying why they have this sketch. We think they might be trying to play a trick on the killer. So I think that might be, no, there's more. I mean, for that being said, and there was no witnesses that day, but yet sketches come up. Multiple suspects. Everybody trying to put these sketches together. But yet now it's a trick. And I mean, what are you going to trick a friggin' killer with a sketch? Well, I mean, what the hell does he care if there's a sketch out there and what they're supposed to trick? Now, this is a question that's just I've been thinking about. It's like, what are you tricking? If there's a way you can trick a killer by a sketch, please tell me, has anybody ever heard this? Because I haven't. Put the sketch up of this young guy and we'll trick him. Trick him with what? Maybe it's him. Or maybe you'll think it's him. Or, yeah, just put that sketch up. Where the hell did you get this sketch? I don't know, but put it up, we're going to trick him. Oh, boy. Don't this just get any better? May have been returned to the girls may have been returned to the site early on the 14th at 2 to 3 a.m. Said to be very strong because one girl who was quite heavy was dragged quite some distance. If the girls were brought back later, perhaps they were brought back after 2 a.m. on the 14th because Libby's phone mysteriously turned on and pinged the bridge at that time. Also, shortly after that, people heard terrible screams. The story is those were kids bouncing on a trampoline. But that doesn't pass. Okay, trampoline, that's it. So, screams and trampolines. Ha. I'd like to know if this was, pinged after that time, right? At that time. So if the phone is pinging at 2 a.m. on the 14th, mysteriously turned on, pinged at the bridge at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Also, shortly after that time, people heard terrible screams. Who in the hell? Please tell me. And I will look into this one, because who the hell is out at 2 a.m. jumping on a goddamn trampoline? Someone please tell me. You know, it's either they got a big spotlight out there, or they're these kids that are ramped up with so much energy or sugar that they are told to get out of the house. You guys are too rambunctious. Get out there and jump on a trampoline. Parents are letting their kids jump on a trampoline at 2 a.m. in the morning. Is that what you're telling me? Please tell me. Oh, boy. I mean, yeah, but that doesn't pass whatever I stopped it at this. Because, if there was any screaming going on, of course, that would be Libby screaming because she supposedly survived sometime after the brutal attack. And like I said, Bridge Guy had to have done something to her because she was screaming to shut her up and to, maybe hurt her some more, punch that windpipe so she would stop screaming. It's a tough little girl right there putting up a fight. I mean, I give her credit for that. But she shouldn't even have to have done that if she just played the smarts. And I bet you that gun wasn't even loaded. If it was there to scare, I guarantee it wasn't loaded. Even though the girls wouldn't have known that, they could have at least tried to run down that goddamn hill. Because for one, swaying in and out of trees, trying to get a direct hit with a gun going down a hill, and you're swaying, you're running. I mean, if someone could do that, And how many ever bullets this gun holds, I'd have to look that up. I forget about that. I know it's not a 6-shooter, so you'd have 6 shots. 6, shots to get. At least try something. Not let yourself get brutally harmed. And even if and then there's the tunnel. They could have rightfully ran to that damn thing, and if they were not so far away from Ron Logan's house. Yeah, the question is how that guy didn't hear nothing either. But these screams supposedly happened at 2 a.m. So whatever happened in between that time of them first getting, hey guys, down the hill, and why they kept their mouth shut that long. I mean, it's like the friggin' person was, having a conversation with him for a long time before he killed him. There's a lot of questions in this case, man, and more it unfolds. But there is a lot of writing in here about the family members that are supposedly involved. A cousin is one of them. About his friend, I don't know, whatever the cousin with the busting the nut and all this sick shit. But, I don't know. Supposedly there's something involved. Supposedly, I believe one was said to be in this dark website looking at this kiddie porn shit. Could have rightfully been one of them people in the group, we'll call it. The group. Where all information is free-flowed. But, hey, all I know is I never looked up this guy. I have proven things that he has said that I have said that don't match up, and things that I never heard of. Because believe me, if I would have heard of their list from this page, I would have already put it up. And I only got it from a comment from a person stating, order all your sources from this guy, Robert Lindsay. I don't even know his friggin' name. I know Robert, got that stuck in my head, but Lindsay, Lazy, Leo Louie. But it is some interesting stuff here. Came up with my own thoughts, theories, ideas. That's all this channel's all about. That's it. My thoughts, theories, ideas, throw in what I think of what people say. And that's exactly what I did today. But other than that, folks, this is, wow. This does bring out a lot of new stuff. Especially the girls being moved. Were they moved to that tunnel? Where I want this goddamn tunnel on tape. I want someone to go to this tunnel. I want someone to walk through the fucking tunnel. I want someone to come out the other side of the tunnel. I want to see this tunnel. I mean, I can try the Google Maps thing, but not the maps, but the Google walking map or something. I forget what it is, but you do get to see more of the layout of the land than than looking down from the visual. But all in all, folks, this is an insane case. It's getting more intense. And yeah, I was at the point where I couldn't talk much more of it because stuff like this wasn't out there. The minimal articles that I've been on or tried looking up are minimal, is right. It's nothing like these, and to find stuff like this, right, you gotta have more names or more information. This person just opened up a whole new world to me with this one name. And once again, no, I do not get my sources from this bozo. In ways, I think this guy's just sounds like a real egotistical jerk. But he writes, he does have some stuff up there, and he's supposedly, hey, law enforcement involved. But then again, you know what, buddy? The law enforcement and law involved, how do you know they're not the crooked cops? Yeah. I don't care what kind of strong web page you got. Because if you got a crooked cop, you're going to get crooked information. I don't know, folks. Until that next video, be safe, take care, and always beware. Because that jerk is still out there. BG. Out.